How does assimilation relate to racism? Have you ever wondered how cultural assimilation connects with racism, especially in the context of Latin American history and Afro-Latin American identity? Let's break this down. Assimilation is when individuals or groups adopt the cultural traits of another group, often the dominant one. In many cases, this dominant culture is shaped by white, Eurocentric values. For Afro-Latin Americans, this means adopting the language, customs, and social norms that are often aligned with whiteness. Racism plays a significant role in this process. The dominant society frequently imposes standards that privilege whiteness and marginalize non-white identities. This includes Afro-Latinx and Indigenous heritages. In Latin culture, concepts like Blanqueamiento, which means whitening, and Mestizaje, which refers to racial mixture, have influenced how assimilation is viewed. Blanqueamiento promotes the idea that adopting white cultural norms is necessary for social acceptance. On the other hand, Mestizaje suggests that, because many Latin Americans are of mixed race, racism is less relevant. However, both ideas can mask ongoing racial inequalities and pressures to conform to white cultural standards. Latino communities often feel torn between preserving their cultural identities and the pressure to assimilate. This pressure can lead to the marginalization of Afro-Latinx and Indigenous identities, both in society and within Latinx communities. For instance, institutions serving Hispanic populations may replicate white cultural norms, which can further marginalize Black and Indigenous Latinx individuals. Some Latinx individuals may choose to assimilate to avoid discrimination or to gain social and economic opportunities. However, this process is complicated by persistent racial prejudice and structural inequalities. Segregated Latino neighborhoods and economic disparities highlight these challenges. From the perspective of Latin culture, assimilation is not just about blending cultures. It is closely tied to racial power structures. The pressure to assimilate often means conforming to whiteness, which can erase or devalue Afro-Latinx and Indigenous identities. Many Latinx communities resist full assimilation as they strive to maintain their cultural heritage and fight for civil rights. Educational and social institutions need to recognize and value the diversity within Latinx populations. This includes acknowledging Afro-Latinx and Indigenous identities rather than enforcing conformity to a white norm. By affirming multiple identities, we can combat racism and challenge the racial hierarchies embedded in assimilation processes. Assimilation relates to racism in Latin culture by reflecting and reinforcing racial hierarchies that privilege whiteness. It is both a response to and a mechanism of racial discrimination, shaping how Latinx individuals navigate their identities in society.